Yellowstone actor reflects on reunion with Kevin Costner decades after playing him. Yellowstone star Ian Bohan has a unique claim to fame among the series cast. Bohan is the only actor to ever star both alongside Kevin Costner and also play the younger version of the actor. Bohan, who portrays Ryan on the hit Paramount series, has long been familiar with Costner's work. The two actors had worked together years earlier when Bohan played a young Costner in the 1994 film Wyatt Earp. It was an exciting reunion when the pair crossed paths once again during the casting for Yellowstone. I walked in and Kevin shook everyone's hand. And when he got to me, we locked eyes, smiled, and said, "Wyatt." Bohan told Daily Express US at the Bodywell and Men's 2025 Critics' Choice and Grammy Fire Relief Lounge presented by GBK Brand Bar. It was such a cool moment to share with him. We'd both come a long way, and here we are again, playing cowboys. Bohan claims his experience working with Costner back in the early 90s left a lasting impact. "It was one of my first jobs, and it was a big deal. You never forget those early moments in your career," he said. And to be able to reconnect after all this time, it felt like coming full circle. Bohan, reflecting on his role, particularly enjoyed the challenge of working with horses and livestock during the series. Acting is a big part of it, but the physical stuff, being out there with the animals, and the dynamics of action, it adds so much to the experience, Bohan said. It's 100% all the way around. As for his future projects, Bohan is staying busy. It had been decades since they first crossed paths on a film set, a time when the world was a much different place, and Hollywood itself seemed to hold a timeless charm. For Cole Hauser, one of the central figures in Yellowstone, the opportunity to reunite with Kevin Costner on the set of the hit series felt like the culmination of years of admiration and a shared bond built on cinematic history. What he never expected was that the reunion would be as much about personal reflection as it was about professional admiration. Hauser had always known Costner as a figure who embodied the rugged, stoic strength of the American West, a portrayal that had defined him through films like Dances with Wolves and Open Range. It wasn't just Costner's acting that had influenced Hauser's understanding of the genre. It was his entire approach to filmmaking, his vision for stories that resonated deeply with audiences, while capturing the essence of American landscapes and their complex history. But for Hauser, playing Rip Wheeler on Yellowstone was a far cry from anything he'd done before. And for years, he had often reflected on how different it was from the earlier stages of his career. Back in 1996, Hauser had portrayed a young, hot-headed version of the iconic character, the rebellious, lovable cowboy in Tin Cup, a film in which Costner played the lead role. It was the beginning of Hauser's steady rise in Hollywood, but he always saw Costner as more than just a colleague. He was an inspiration. Years passed, and Hauser's career took him into the sprawling world of Yellowstone, where he played Rip Wheeler, the loyal, formidable ranch hand who had found himself woven into the family fabric of the Duttons. It was a world that seemed worlds apart from his early days. But that fateful reunion, when he and Costner were reunited on the set of Yellowstone, felt like more than just another workday. It was a moment of reflection, one that brought all the years between them full circle. I remember walking on set, and there was this feeling, something indescribable, Hauser said, looking back on the moment he saw Costner after all those years. It wasn't just the roles we were playing. It was everything that had led us here. The time, the changes, and somehow, there we were, together again. Costner's impact on Hauser wasn't limited to their work on Tin Cup. From his mentorship to the quiet moments of advice that Costner had given him along the way, Hauser had learned more than just how to act. He had learned how to embody the character, how to tap into the raw energy of a scene and create something that felt organic and real. I didn't understand it then, but Kevin showed me the value of restraint, Hauser continued. There's a power in stillness that I wasn't aware of. Rip doesn't say much, but when he speaks, it hits. Kevin's ability to do that, to create a moment with his silence, it was something I tried to emulate, even subconsciously. As Hauser looked across the set, watching Costner in his cowboy boots and wide-brimmed hat, he couldn't help but think of the irony. Here they were, two actors, decades apart in their careers, playing characters from similar worlds, but each shaped by time, experience, and the rough, untamed land of Montana. Rip Wheeler and John Dutton, the characters they portrayed, were more alike than Hauser had ever realized. Their reunion wasn't just a professional moment. It was a personal one as well. Hauser found himself reflecting on the changes in his own life, the trajectory of his career, and how far he had come since his early days in Hollywood. Costner, too, had evolved over the years, his roles now defined by gravitas and wisdom. But beneath the surface, Hauser could see that same spark in Costner's eyes. It was the same passion for storytelling, the same drive to create something timeless. It's surreal, you know, Hauser said with a grin. You grow up watching someone, and then you get to work alongside them. But what makes this special is that Kevin's the same person I remember from back then. He still has that intensity, that ability to make the simplest moments feel larger than life. It's incredible to witness. The reunion marked more than just a personal milestone for Hauser. It was a reminder of the enduring power of mentorship, the importance of those early lessons, and the way an actor's journey is shaped not just by their roles, but by the people they meet along the way. For Hauser, Costner had been more than just a co-star. He had been a guide, a role model, and in many ways, a fellow cowboy. As the cameras rolled on another scene of Yellowstone, Hauser watched Costner once more, admiring the calm confidence he carried with him. There was no doubt in Hauser's mind that the Duttons, just like the characters they portrayed, were a reflection of the complex, layered personalities that had shaped them over time. Rip Wheeler's evolution was a direct result of the experiences he had gone through, much like Hauser's own growth as an actor. And in a moment of reflection, Hauser realized that this reunion wasn't just about reliving the past. It was about acknowledging how far they had both come, the paths they had walked, and the journey that was still ahead of them. For a moment, the lines between actor and character blurred, and Hauser could almost see the world of Yellowstone, as if he were looking through Rip's eyes. The open sky, the wide plains, the rugged mountains, they weren't just a backdrop to the story. They were part of the story itself, shaping every decision, every moment, every word spoken. I think that's what makes Yellowstone so real, Hauser said thoughtfully. The land shapes the people. And Kevin, he's the embodiment of that. He's a man who understands that in a way that few others do. As the day wound down and the set lights dimmed, Hauser shared one final thought. Reunions are a funny thing. They're not just about remembering the past. They're about acknowledging what you've learned along the way, what you've shared, and what still lies ahead. With that, he walked off sad, once again grateful for the quiet guidance of the man who had helped shape him into the actor he was today. Kevin Costner, a mentor, a co-star, and an enduring force in Hollywood history.